Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, well, quite well. And as happy as you can ever wish to be, me to be. As happy as you could make the whole world if you could pull it. Idiot, muttered Tigerton. Not Gleam Nathan, not the Gleam. The blind girl took his hand and kissed it. Held it for a moment in her own two hands and laid it cheeking hesitatingly for releasing it. There was such an unspeakable affection, a basic gratitude that the Tigerton self was moved to say, no matter glare than usual. What's the matter now? I studied close, beside my pillow. I went to sleep last night. I remembered it in my dreams. And when the day broke, the gorgeous red sun, the red sun father. Read in the mornings and evenings, Bertha, said poor Caleb, with a rueful glance at his employer. When it rose, and the bright light, I almost feared to strike myself against him walking, came into the room. I turned the little tree towards it and blessed heaven for making things so precious, and blessed you for paying them to cheer me. Bent lamp broke loose the Tigerton under his breath, which out life at the straight waistcoat and muffled soon, but gauging on. Caleb with his hands hooked loosely in each other, stared vacantly before him while his daughter spoke, as if he was really uncertain, and I believe he was, whether Tigerton had done anything to serve her thanks. Or not. Maybe could have been a perfectly ringing on record on pain and death that kicked the toy merchant and fell at his feet, complaining to his merits. I believe it would have been an even chance to which he was taken. Yet Caleb knew that in his own hands he brought that little rose tree home for her so carefully, and that with his own lips he forged that instant deception. That should keep her from suspecting how very much he every day denied himself that he might be the happier. Bertha, said Tigerton, assuming kind of nonsense. I look over me. Come here. Oh, I can come straight to you. You needn't guide me, she rejoiced. So I'll tell you a secret, Bertha. If you will, she answered eagerly. How bright the darkened face, adorning the light, the listening head. This is the day on which a little what's-his-name, spoiled child, Hank Bingley's wife, pays a regular visit to you. Thanks for a fantastic picnic here, ain't it, the Tigerton, with a certain expression of distaste for the all concerned. Yes, replied Bertha, this is the day. I thought so, said Tigerton. I should like to join the party. Did you hear that father guy, the line girl on the XK? Yes, I hear it, muttered Caleb, his look of a sweet walker. But I don't believe it. It's one of my lies. I have no doubt. You see, I want to be in the paint English a little more company with Mayfielding, so take a ton. Well, me married to me. Mate! Cried the blind girl, starting from him. She's a. What's it? Can't find it Indian, mother take a ton. And face will never comprehend me. Ah, Biffa, married, church, Russian, clerk, Mieto, West Coast Biz, breakfast, right cake, Rivers, hair bones, cleavers, and all the rest of tomfoolery. A wedding, you know, a wedding. Don't you know what a wedding is? I know, replied the blind girl in a gentle voice. I understand. Do you, mother take a ton? Much more than I expect. Well, on that account, I don't want to join the party and remain her mother. I'll send in a little something or other for the afternoon. I'll call like a mutton, a cupful of trifle, all that sort. You expect me? Yes, she answered. She dropped her head, turned away, so still with her hands as a musing. I don't think you will, mother take a ton. Looking at her. Like you've seen it, forgotten all about it already. Caleb! I may venture to say I'm here as opposed to Caleb, sir. Make sure she don't forget what I've been saying to her. She never forgets, returned Caleb. It's one of the things he ain't clever at. I mean, things, songs, swans. Sir, Antoine mentioned with a shrug. Poor devil. Having delivered of which remark, within Daphne content. Low bluff and take a ton. Withdrew. Bertha remained where he had left her, lost in meditation. Gravity had vanished from her downcast face, and was face that 2 or 4 times she shook her head as bewildering thumb remnants or some loss. Her sorrowful complexion and no mental words. It was not until Caleb had been occupied some time in yoking the team of horses to a wagon by the cemetery process of nailing the harness and final parts of their bodies that she do need to stole, same as Dan beside him said. Father, I am lonely in the dark. I'm on my ice. My patient really nice. Ready, has a Caleb. I'll be ready. More than most in my Martha. Nia and 11:20. What shall you guys do for you, Lee? Look in the room, Father. No later, Caleb. No sooner said than done, Bertha. Tell me about it. This they must the same as usual, said Caleb. Homely, very snug. The giggles and the walls, the bright flowers, no plates and dishes, and shiny wood, beans and panels, and general peacefulness and neatness of the building make it very pretty. Neat and cheerful was whatever Bertha's hands could busied in his house. And nowhere else were cheerfulness and neatness possible. The old crazy said when Caleb's as a soul transformed. We have you looking just son, and not so good as you. Read that the handsome coat, said Bertha, touching him. Not quite so get up. Sir Caleb. Leave this though. Father, said the blind girl, drawing closer to his side. And staying on around his neck. Tell me something about me. She's very fair. She is indeed, said Caleb, and she was indeed. It was quite a rare thing to Caleb to not have drawn on his invention. Her hair is dark, said Bertha pensively. Darker than mine. Her voice is sweet and musical, I know. I have often loved to hear it, her she. There's not the dolls in all the world that equal it, said Caleb, and her eyes. He stopped, for Bertha had drawn closer around his neck. And from the arm that clung around him came a warning pressure, understood too well. He gulped a moment, hummed for a moment, and fell back on the sand about the sparkling bowl. It's found a blow. Resources, just all such difficulties. A friend, a father, benefactor, I never tired, you know. I'm reading about him. Now, was I ever? She said hastily. Of course not, answered Caleb. And with reason. Ah, with how much reason, cried the blind girl. With just plain to see. That Caleb thought his moments were so pure, could not endure to meet her face, but dropped his eyes, and she could read that in them his end, except. And tell me about him again. About him, Father. Said Bertha, many times again. Let's face it. Be violent. Kind and tender. Honest true. I'm sure it is. The manly heart that tries to cloak all favors, the show of her first unwillingness. Reach in its every looking glass. And make it noble, added Caleb. Was quite in desperation. And make it noble, cried the blind girl. He's older than me, Father. Yes, said Caleb, reluctantly. He's a little older than me. But that don't signify. Oh, Father, yes. To be his patient companion, infirmity, and age, to be his gentle nurse in sickness, and a consistent friend in suffering and sorrow, to know of no weariness and working for his sake to watch him to tend him. The wise man talked to him. Awake, I'm playful, I'm asleep. What pill what these would be? What opportunities for looking her own truth and devotion to him? Would she do all this to your father? No doubt of it, said Caleb. I love her, father. I can love her for my soul. Explained the blind girl. When saying so, she laid her blind face on Caleb's shoulder and so wept and wept. It was almost like there brought out whole happiness upon her. In the meantime, there had been a pretty sharp commotion on John Peybingle's. But really, Peybingle actually couldn't think of going anywhere without the baby. And to get the baby on the way took time. Not that there was much of the baby. Thinking of it as a thing to wait to measure. But there was a vast deal to about it. And that a whole lot to be done by easy stages. For instance, when the baby was got by hook and crook. So the simpling and dressing. It might have been naturally supposed that another notch or two would finish him off and turn him at a tip top, maybe challenging the world. He was unexpectedly extinguished in the final cap, whistled off, nudged off the bed. He skimmed sleep between two blankets for the best part of an hour. When I say the indentation, it was then called face, shining very much and roaring violently to partake of, well, I would rather say, you permit me to speak gently of a slight repass. Otherwise, she went to sleep again. Mrs. Peybingle took advantage of this invertal to make herself as sharp and small waist you ever saw anybody all your life. And then the same short troops. Miss Lovejoy insulated herself to a Spencer fashion, so surprising, so generous, and had no connection with herself. Anything else in the universe, but was a striking, log earnest, dependent fact, pursuing his lonely course without least regard to anybody. I understand the baby being alive again was invested in entire efforts of Mrs. Peybingle and Miss Lovejoy, making colored mantle for his body, and a sort of Lincoln lace pipe for his head, and And so, in course, the thing, they all got down to the door. But the old horse had already taken more than the full value of his day toll. The Turnpike Trust by tearing up the roadways and patient autographs. And where hence Boxer might be dimly seen in remote perspective, standing looking back and telling him to come on without orders. As to a chair or anything of that kind for helping Mrs. Peybingle Jigheart. You know very little, John. If you think that was necessary, for you couldn't have seen it lift her on the ground, though she was in her place, fresh and rosy, saying, John, how can you? Take it silly. If I might be allowed to mention a young lady's legs on any terms, I would observe on Mrs. Slowboy's that the fidelity about them was rather known, both inalienable be gaze, and that she never affectioned false ascent or descent, without requiring the circumstances upon them and with a notch. Absorption corks. Mark the days upon his wooden calendar, but as this might be considered until nothing of it. John, you got the basket with the lamb pie and beans and the bottles of beer? Said Dot. If you haven't, you must turn around again this very minute. Yeah, Nate's not electrical, returned the carrier to be talking about turning around. After keeping me a full quarter hour behind my time. I'm very sorry for John. He died in a great bustle. But I couldn't not think of going to bed thus. I would not do it, John, on any account without the real pain. Well, also be wait. This monosyllable was just a horse who didn't mind at all. Oh, do it, John, said Miss Peybingle, please. I'm trying not to do that. Turned on. And let me get to leave things behind me. The basket's here, safe enough. What a hard-hearted monster you must be, John. Do not sit still at once and see me at a time. I declared I went on the breakfast without the wheel and hand high on things. I'm about to pay for any money. Thankfully, once a fortnight, ever since we've been married, John, I made a little picnic there. And then, was to go along with it, I should almost think we'll be lucky again. It was a kind thought in the first instance, said the carrier. I honor you for it, little woman. My dear John, and I thought, turning very well, don't talk about honoring me. Good gracious. Right about said the carrier, that old gentleman, again so vividly and instantly embarrassed. He's an odd fish, said the carrier. I've been along the road before now. I can't make it out. I don't believe there's any harm in him. Not at all. I'm I'm sure there's none at all. Yes, said the carrier. His eyes had touched her face by the great earnest of her manner. I'm glad you feel so certain that as a competition to me. It's curious that he should have taken it into his head to ask leave to go on lunching with us, ain't it? Things coming about so strangely. So Fanny sings only to joining a low voice, fiercely audible. However, he's a good natured old gentleman, said John. At least it's a gentleman. I have quite a long talk with him this morning, but you can hear me better already, he says, as he gets more used to my voice. He told me a great deal about himself, and I told him a great deal about myself. A very lot of questions he asked me. I gave him information about me having 2 beats, you know, in my business, one day to the right from our house, and back again. Another day to the left from our house and back again. Raised a stranger and don't know the name of places about here. And it seems like please. Why, then I should be returning. I shall be returning home tonight your way, he says. I thought you'd be coming in the exact opposite direction. That's capital. I may trouble you for another lift perhaps, but I gauge you not fall so sound asleep again. I was sound asleep, surely. Thought, what are you thinking of? Thinking of, John? I was listening to you. Oh, that's all right, said the honest carrier. That was a very funny look on your face. That I got on not playing for so long. I said to send you thinking of something else. I was very near it, I be bound. Dot making no reply. I got down for some little time silence. It was not easy to remain silent very long on Mingle's cart. Everybody on the road has something to say. Though it might be though it might only be how are you? Indeed was very often nothing else. To give that back again. Nice way to cordially required. And merely a nod and smile. But as wholesome an action of the lunch withal. As a long-winded Parliament speech. Sometimes passengers on foot or on horseback floated on a little way beside the cart. The express purpose of having a chat. And then there was a great deal to be said on both sides. Then Baxter gave occasion to more good-natured recognitions of, and by the half-dozen Christians could have done. Everybody knew him, all on the road, especially the fowls and pigs, who, when they saw him approaching, that's why all on one side, and he was pricked up in city, that knob a tail, making the most of itself in the air. Measly withdrew into the remote back settlements, not waiting for the honor of a near acquaintance. Yet witness everywhere, only down all the turnings, looking into all the wells, running in and out all the cottages. dashing into the midst of all Indian schools, highlighting all the pigeons, magnifying the tails of all the cats, and trotting into the public homes like a regular customer. Wherever he went, somebody or other had been heard to cry, "Aloha! He's back, sir!" And out came somebody forthwith, a man by at least 2 or 3 other somebodies to give Johnny Pate Bingle and say, "Pretty life, good day." The packages and parcel for the errand cart are numerous, and the remaining stoppages to take them in and get them out. Well, not by any means the worst part of the journey. Some people were so full of expectation about their parcels, and many and other people. Some people were so full of expectation about their parcels, and other people were so full of wonder about their parcels, and other people were so full exposal directions about their parcels. And John had such a lively interest in all the parcels that it was all good as a play. Likewise, there was articles to carry, was required to be considered and discussed, and reference to adjustment and disposition of which principles are to be held how to carry in the centers. I was accidentally assisted in short fits of lost his attention and long fits of train round and round the temple stages, bragging himself hoarse. Only slow and since God was the mused. I might open right slips from a chair in the car. And as she sat there looking on, enjoying a little portrait, laying her mission bed till when there was no lack of nudgings and glances and whispers. Early yes, among the younger men. On this delay in John the Carrier by young Major, for he was proud to have his little life admired. Only she didn't mind it. That, if anything, she rather liked it perhaps. The trip was a little foggy, to be sure, and turning away weather was raw and cold, but okay for such trifles. Not that, decidedly. Not Tilly's little boy. Was she being sitting in the car on any terms to be the highest point of human joys. The granny and circumstance that Everly hopes, not the baby, I'll be sworn. For it's not the baby's nature to be warmer or more sound asleep, but its captivity is great in both aspects. Then that blessed non-pay Bingles was all the way. You couldn't see very far in the fog. Of course, but you could see a great deal. It was astonishing how much you may see, like a fog net. If you can only take the trouble, look for it. I've even just watching for the penguins in the fields, and the patches of frost suddenly getting in the shade. Near hedges and by trees was a pleasant occupation, to make no mention of the unexpected shapes which the trees themselves came starting out of the mist and glided into again. Hedges were tangled and bare. It made the magnitude garlands in the wind, but it was all discouragement in this. I was grateful to complete, for it made the fireside permanent possession and summer green tree. The river looked chilly, but it was in motion and moving at a good pace, which was a great point. The canal was out of snow and that must be a minute. Never mind. We'll freeze the sooner when the frost set fairly in. And they will be skating and sliding in the heavy old barges, closing up somewhere near a wharf, with smoke the rust iron chimney pipes all day, and have a lazy time of it. In one place there was a great mound of weeds or stubble burning, and they lost the fire, all white, daytime. Oh boy. Who the fuck was only here and there a dash of red in it until inconvenient consequence. As she served with the smoke came off her nose, Miss Bubble choked. She could do anything of that sort. As well, obligation about the baby was when who wouldn't go to sleep again. But Baxter was in some quarter of a mile or so. The life has the the den. Gain the corner. The tree where Caleb and his daughter lived. And long before they reached the door, he and the white girl were on the pavement waiting to see them. Baxter, by the way, makes delicate descriptions of his own and communication with Bertha, which persuaded me fully that they were to be blind. I never sought to attract their attention by looking at her. He often did with other people, but touched her invariably. What experience could he have ever had of blind people or blind dogs? I don't know. He had never lived with a blind mister. Nor had Mr. Baxter the elder. nor did Mrs. Baxter. Nor did any of the respectable family on either side ever been visited with blindness that I'm aware of. He may have had that for himself, perhaps, but he had gotten a hold of it somehow. Therefore, he had hold of Bertha too. I had heard and kept told to Mrs. Pay Bingle and Mrs. Slowboy in the basket. Well,